Good evening, good afternoon. This is Juicy Saft. This is a little different from my. Actually, no. I think I've discussed anime before, so I'll just do it again. I wanted to discuss One Punch Man because I was watching. Well, I watched the most recent episode, and I also was reading the webcomic because I just wanted to see more. That's when I very rarely feel in tune with anime and things like that when it comes to the sci-fi and fantasy genre, to the point where I want to read other versions of it to get more of the story, because most of the time it's all wish fulfillment, and it just doesn't create a world in which that I want to see more of. Like Overlord, that made me want to read more. One Punch Man obviously made me want to read more. There's a few others that I have gone for webcomics, or gone to the original light novel versus the manga. That doesn't have an anime, but it has a manga. I don't really read too many. There's probably a lot that I don't know of. There's probably a lot of the sci-fi genre, or sci-fi slash fantasy genre, so anything and everything that I don't know of. So a lot of my opinions on anime and manga and all that in general is probably skewed, because I only see what gets made and not the hundreds of other stories, especially light novels and whatnot, that might suit my desires. But for One Punch Man, I've been having this thought for a while, since the anime began, that the overall story of Saitama isn't that he's going to find some strong opponent. It's instead that he's reached his limit as a hero, and he finds out that he doesn't actually want to be a hero anymore. Or rather, it's not the purpose. He was lacking purpose in his original life, and he mistakenly placed, I need to become a hero to get that excitement and fulfillment. Because before he became a hero, he was working as a salaryman, depressed with his life, and didn't really care about anything. He became a hero and felt excitement for the first time. And it changed, it sparked something in his mind that I have to become stronger, I have to fight as many of these people as possible. But it wasn't really because of any kind of other goal. It wasn't because he wanted to save people. I mean, he saved that kid, but it wasn't really what saving the kid that got him the excitement. It was the thrill of the fight that got him the excitement. And that transfers from everything. Everything is about, I wish I had a stronger opponent. Really, I don't see this discussion enough. I think that Saitama now just wants friends. He may not seem like it, and he may even tell himself that he doesn't like being around people, or they talk too much, or he wants a quiet life, but he actively can forcibly remove people from his life or distance himself. But he doesn't. And it's because he's filling the gap in his life with the friends that he's making. That is the ultimate end goal of him, and that he's going to discover that there are the different meanings of being a hero, or the different meanings of life, and find something outside of just having a strong opponent that he can fight and go all out with. In the webcomic, you do see that he does still get excited, though, whenever he finds an opponent that's pretty powerful. The monster arc will come to an end. I'm reading right now in the webcomic. I'm not going to spoil anything, but you can treat everything in the webcomic as canon, to a degree. Some things do change, or some aspects will change, but mostly the manga and anime stay very true to the original. I'd say the only difference is that there is a fight coming up that I did not see in the webcomic, but I might have not just been paying attention. And God, I even in the webcomic, the art style is getting better. I mean, if you look at pages from the very last one or not very last one, but close to the last one now, and from the beginning, one style is getting a little bit better. I guess people have grown not attached, but they've grown accustomed to that, his style. It's not, because it is ugly, but it's jarring. It's not necessarily ugly. It's obviously not up to par with the manga and other versions of art and everything like that, but it can still, it still tells a compelling story. So what his story makes up for what his art lacks. And you can see with Mob Psycho and One Punch Man both, they're both stories about overpowered characters wanting something else in life. Or rather, it's about the story of not necessarily them being overpowered, but how that affects their life and the relationships around them. And there's more of an emotional pull to everything. Pull? I don't know. The story is less about I must defeat as many people as powerful and show everybody I'm the most powerful person. They've already hit they've already broken their limit. They're already at the level. There's no growth. So the focus goes instead from becoming stronger and will he be able to defeat the opponent? Most of the time, yeah. For Mob Psycho, yeah, it's a guaranteed most of the time he's going to beat whatever opponent's in front of him. Saitama, it's a guaranteed that he's going to defeat whatever is in front of him. For Mob Psycho, his power is, and I can make a discussion video about him in that story in a different time, but for Mob Psycho, his story is more about him coming to age and learning more about himself. It's about his growth as an adult into adulthood. For Saitama, it's his growth as a person. Really, if you look at it, Saitama has been just missing that, lacking that in his life, and became bored and dissatisfied with everything. And as much as he acts like he doesn't, care so much what Genos does, and he truly is a nonchalant guy. Like if Genos did leave, he wouldn't necessarily stop him. But you see for instance, in the anime, it's in the anime now, so I can say this for people who only watch the anime. When he hears that Genos is out and about, he's playing with King, he's fighting King, and he's having fun fighting against King. As much as it makes him angry, losing to King, who's only using 2 fingers, it's something that he enjoys. It's a challenge that he's not sure of. Which, speaking of, I really feel like if King was given a controller of some kind and a fighting robot, he would actually be S-class with everything. Maybe that will come into fruition later, or maybe there's just some. Maybe his power is deceit. There's the hidden ability, or maybe the whole point is that he's supposed to be an unpowered guy, and that'll always be a continuing running joke that his power is just deception. The fact that he's a big buff guy, even though it doesn't look like he actually goes to work out. The fact that even though in the webcomic he is drawn very scrawny and weak, in the manga he's drawn like 6'8", and super buff. Anyway, the second he hears that Genos is in trouble, or rather that he's walking out and about, he thinks about him being destroyed and other things like that, and he decides, I might as well just go out just in case. So he does care about Genos to some degree. He's still thinking he might not immediately call him a friend. He hasn't called him a friend at all. It's not necessary, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't just like give off stuff from the webcomic or from manga if you just only want to watch the anime, and that would be a spoiler to you. So anyway, but overall, I think that Saitama's true goal is and in the webcomic though and in the manga he is changing towards something else. It's less about him. Because he wouldn't, before he couldn't have been bothered by anything. He couldn't have been bothered to do stuff. I actually know that's not true of his character. He's always been that kind of person. However, there's more of a pressing need for him to do certain actions and certain things for his friends, or rather, acquaintances. What was I going to say? Yeah, so overall, I think that it's really about the growth of the characters themselves, destabilizing what is the most powerful man. You gather an entire group of people that are S-class, the most powerful people, and yet they can't hold a candle against Saitama if they actually went into a fight with him. I don't like overanalyzing art or media and then giving it more depth than it actually has, but I do believe that it is the ultimate goal, is to mock and parody superpowered shows or superpowered stories, as well as create a story in which the overall arc of it is not. Oh, and I apologize for all the mess right there. The overall arc isn't about him being, unstoppable or undefeatable. It's more so how that plays in a role with everybody else. How he and you can see that why he joined the Hero Association. Why he, even though he doesn't need to have Genos around, he still does. Why he hasn't. Even though I think he really just wants his own privacy. When he's in his own home, he just wants to be away from people. And I wouldn't mind them being around him outside of it. It's just when people make themselves uninvited guests into his home that he has a little bit of an issue with it. But he still doesn't kick them out. He knows, and that might be just because he's responsible with his power, and he knows that he doesn't want to cause any ruckus or any more work for himself. A laziness, and it might be that he's convincing himself that it's laziness. I don't know. Anyway, so shortly, I didn't really have too many points to say about that. It's just I want there to be more of a discussion about how, because I see a lot of people are saying that because with Garo right now in the anime, they're saying Garo is leading up to being the big bad that Saitama faces, and that he's going to be not able to beat or crap like that. They're always still looking for a strong opponent that can match Saitama, and I just don't think that's the overall point of the story, because at that point the story could end if Saitama found somebody that was as strong as him, and it would also just ruin the whole point of the name. I mean, yeah, even if a few hits can be survivable, the whole point is that he's supposed to be more strong than anybody else. Broke his limiter. And I think, and on that topic, I think there's a limiter for other things instead of just certain aspects. And it wasn't that Saitama broke his limiter for strength. He broke his limiter through physical strength, being the literal strongest hero. Or, he became the strongest. Like, that was his transformation into a monster. So there's two different limiters. There's the what we call the positive good side limiter, which turns you into a hero, and the negative bad side limiter that turns you into a monster. And that's they go hand in hand in that story. And they both deal with desire. And a lot of people view Saitama as a monster. He obsessed over being a hero, and it turned him into a monster. Well, I think that with the right, not everybody can break their limiter, but in either way, some people can't become monsters, some people can't become heroes, but Saitama's limiter was probably already skewed towards the light side, the good side, of breaking his limiter anyway, or at least the way that he focused or put his mind, the fact that he kept on focusing, I'm going to be a hero, a hero, a hero. It didn't turn him into a grotesque monster, because because it seems that the desires of a monster, especially in the webcomic, are based on personal distaste and personal negative feelings, hatred of unfairness, hatred of, how everything else. It's hatred and despair and things like that. Other than whatever that guy's name is, Crablanca, the guy that just ate crab, but he was also a businessman as well, and hated. He ate and ate and ate, and it was this greed. It was a negative feeling. It was, again, negative versus, other people. And then anyway, there's also different types of limiters that can be broken for different things. Martial artists, speedsters, super strength, an all-around, well-rounded, just everything, Saitama, where everything is super strength, super speed, super reflexes, super durability, all that. So, anyway, it does come into effect. There's a question that's brought up in the webcomic. This isn't really a spoiler. It's just a question that's brought up. Nothing. It's an offhand thing, so it's not about a story. It's not about. But Genos the question is Genos getting stronger, or are his parts getting different? Can he really say that he's getting stronger at all? And that comes down, and that's another thing, is that Genos is someone that really does have the potential to become strong through just being strong. Or rather utilizing his gadgets and everything, because he has signed away his ability to break his limiter. He no longer can. At least in the flesh, like Saitama can. He can't become as strong as Saitama because he's removed his body parts, he's removed his flesh, and thus locked his limiter in place. Maybe he still can because there's still parts of him that are human. Maybe he can't, but the fact that 90% of him is machine, down to the part where any part of him except for his head can be replaced or repaired, it should show you that he's majority metal. And so he would have to struggle and fight and learn how to become a strong fighter through just his fighting ability and utilizing his skills and utilizing his weapons alone. I guess there's not much else I can say about this. I don't want to try to drag it on for too long. I think it's an interesting session. You guys can go ahead and give me your opinions and everything and how you feel about the anime or the webcomic or the manga. But that's what I think that's what Saitama's going to want, or at least that's what his hidden desire is to surround himself with friends. He's bored of life, and he's bored of being a hero. It served no purpose. It was only when Genos told him about the Hero Association that he joined up. He had no idea. He was removed from society altogether because he distanced himself. Or rather, he did not by choice. It just happened that he distanced himself from society and became a recluse, became trapped in a constant repeating cycle of waking up, defeating a monster maybe, doing whatever he did for money. I don't know what he did for money. And buying food, going home, watching TV, and then rinse, repeat. Now there's something different. Now there's purpose to his life. Now there's something else going on. And the whole point is that One Punch Man isn't supposed to be taken seriously. I'd say Mob Psycho 100 is supposed to be taken much more seriously than One Punch Man, because it is a comedy anime. And even Mob Psycho is a comedy anime, but at least there's a little bit more of... It's less about parody there, I guess. Maybe. But I can make a video on that. Like I said, I can make a video on that on another time. But yeah. Tell me what you think. Don't tell me what you think. Doesn't matter. Also, if you want to hear more about that, maybe you want to see video games, maybe not, you just hit that button. You just hit that button to subscribe, Because, God, I feel like a D-bag. Hit the button. Hit the button. Wow, I think I managed to not cuss in this video. That's amazing. Honestly, thank you all for supporting me. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. Thank you for everybody that is helping me achieve my goals and dreams of entertainment. I hope I can build a community around me, or at least, especially my Discord, of where people can, get something out of this. They can get what Saitama wants: friendship. Maybe not necessarily with me, directly, but I mean, because there's no way if I built a big community that I'd be friends with everybody. Good terms with everybody, sure, but friends, that'd be impossible. But at least in the community, Anyway, y'all have a good day.